proud of the way we bounced back today and answered their first, those first, what was it, 10 minutes or something, where they really played it straight up. I think we could all see here that number 0 here, and all of a sudden, I don't forget his name, but Ray was having a tremendous game, and wearing us out a little bit, and gave Derek a little rest. He came in, and the rest of the game, we were in him, we were around him. He had 1 assist and 7 turnovers. So while the field goal percentage wasn't great, we did change some things so we get out and run. So Mo and DJ continue to give us, they're just growing. They're both sophomores. And at 6'10 and 6'11 as sophomores, they're not there yet. But every day they're getting a little bit better, and play the minutes they did today really helps us in the long run. So proud of just our defense. This kid Masterson has been making 3 threes a game. He got 1, and it was sort of off a fluke switch. Aubrey Williams has been getting 4.5 offensive rebounds a game, no matter who they play. Iowa, South Florida, he got 0 offensive rebounds. So I think everybody had a job to do today, and we did it pretty well.
Hey Coach, so what is it about maybe the game plan or the matchup today that allowed Mo Wagner to have such a strong performance and post a career high?
Well, it wasn't really, there wasn't any game plan. It was just Mo's, we're learning to learn who Mo is. He's got a great ability to both shoot from the outside, drive a little bit, and we're just trying to find these windows that we can use him offensively, and then defensively. That's the biggest issue right now, is how can he improve and see the game. And once again, it is one of the most difficult, if not the most difficult position on the court, is to be the center with all the ball screen action and read the action and the angles and all those things. So there was nothing special. He's just maturing as a player.
Chris?
To the naked eye, it looked like the defense was pretty good in the first half. Was it just the fact that they were hitting some unbelievable shots at times? Or?
Yeah. I mean, there wasn't. When they said, what are we going to do with number 0, when I said to staff, Billy said, let's just deny him wherever we can. And at shot clock time, you can see the one time he comes and goes and gets the ball, and he gets the ball and he gets a step back. Step back jumper is really hard to defend, and he hit it in the right corner. So he's really a talented player, 5th-year guy, averaging 22 points a game. He's one of the better guards we'll see this year as far as an individual guard that can really scoring guards we'll see this year.
And then do you feel like DJ is kind of almost the key to this team in a lot of ways?
His key right now is his development. He's still awkward with a lot of things. And so we're teaching, it's just every day of just teaching him some fundamental things, not necessarily about catching and things like that, about his how he's landing when he's picking up the ball, landing on 2 feet, grabbing the ball with 2 hands. And like I said, he's probably younger in the game than you think, because he's just maturing like Mo is right now. And I just like that he's got some athleticism. He's got some desire to get in there and mix it up. And once again, Kenny, we're going to play a lot better teams than Kennesaw is right now. At the same time, for him to go in and get 11, get whatever double he had there, it's just good that he's mixing it up. And that was not happening a couple years ago. He was drifting on the 3. So there's this great body that we're working at, and fundamentally, he's just working at just having great balance in what he does. That's the word I was looking for. He's got to have great balance in what he does as far as his posture.
John?
What did you see today that you liked that was an emphasis over the last couple of days?
I mean, we played the whole defensive position all the way down, all the way through, and once again, they did not have Virginia Tech's talent, but we completed possessions, and like I said, they were averaging 14 offensive rebounds a game, and haven't played great foes, but they did play Iowa, they played South Florida, they played Chattanooga. They were getting 14 a game no matter who they were playing. For them to come out of there and just get those few, that's showed we made some progress, because we all know that's Big Ten basketball is offensive rebounding.
Brennan?
Friday you said you were really disappointed in the way that you guys closed out the half defensively. I think when you guys closed out the first half, you all were on a 17-2 run. So what really changed between the 2 games?
Well, sometimes you have to have this. You told not to touch the stove, you get burned. You remember not to touch the stove. So they were, we got it put to us there. And they know that, as I said on Friday, you know, if you take those 2 4-minute segments from Virginia Tech, I think we figured it out, maybe we're wrong, they were gonna score 120 points if you just take those 4 and multiply it. So those are just bad defense at the half, so they just learn, and then you gotta push through when you're tired at the end of a half. You just can't wait for guys to miss, you're gonna make them miss.
Zach?
The game didn't necessarily need him to score, but how pleased were you with Muhammad's ability to find other ways to contribute when his shots aren't falling?
Yeah, I mean, he started out with some really good looks and it didn't go. And so what I want him to focus on is being that guy that can, you know, can hit some open shots, we can clear some lanes for him. But the best thing he can do right now is become a really, really good defender. I mean, just an outstanding defender. With his athleticism, he can. We just got to get that mindset, so that is how he identifies himself a little bit more as a defender. The guy that Derek was wearing himself out at number 0, and I gave Muhammad a little rest. We went a little bigger. I did like that lineup where we had Zach. Duncan scored a lot of points here, so you had Duncan, DJ, Zach as a 2-man. That gives us a pretty good 8-man rotation there while we wait for Ibby and X to get their game just growing to the college game.
Coach, Wagner had, I think, almost half his points from from beyond 3-point line. Do you see him as wanting to emphasize more the 3-point shooting or the post up? Obviously,
no, he's got to have a mix.
Uh-huh.
He's got to have a mix, and what we'll have to work at, I would assume people will switch those screens more if it's a pick and pop, and then he's just got to dive and bury this 6-foot guard. And so that's will be a big point of emphasis. I think he had to prove that he could make some of these. Not to prove it every night, but he's got to prove he can make these shots for people to have to switch. And now the next point is he won't get those openings. They won't leave him. So now we got to find other ways to score. And so he's at this point with his body change, he's not dominating inside. And we got to get him. And I don't know if that ever happens, but he's got to be good enough to play big and score over people without being too tricky.
Brendan?
We talk about DJ's development. Can you tell us about your approach in kind of dealing with a guy who goes from spot minutes 1 year to being, you know, relied upon significantly just in a short kind of turnaround, just dealing with that mental process?
Well, you know, the other day we did, after he played limited minutes in the game, he was in our, what we call the All-Star games. He was in that good 40-minute scrimmage the next day because he needed to go out there and just go through the ups and downs and feel good about himself. And frankly, he didn't even play that well. The ups and downs of a season. He's never had, it's been basically, I want a chance, I want a chance. When am I going to get my chance? Every chance is not going to be a bowl of cherries, and you got to be able to deal with it. And I think the foul trouble really bothered him the other day, and it affected our team. I think it's a different game if maybe he's out there defensively in the last 4 minutes of each half. You remember that was last 4 minutes we talked about. Well, DJ wasn't in the last 4 minutes of either half. And it's not like, well, DJ's better than Duncan. It's about the whole team. We can play differently. So I think with the ebbs and flows are going to be still difficult for him because he's going to miss big shots. He's going to miss foul shots. It's part of it. He hasn't had that. You know, he missed most of his junior year, I believe, in high school. So he only had his senior year. He's a little bit new in some of this stuff, and you just got to coach him along, mentor him.
And also, this is a group that's gone through kind of a white-knuckle selection Sunday last year.
Yeah.
Given the way that the beginning of non-conference play has gone, do you address to them the importance of this upcoming week in the big picture?
Well, I haven't yet. We did speak about this week just as far as rest and whatever, but this is what they came to Michigan to do. We got 2 marquee universities, and you know, I heard that UCLA beat Kentucky today, and Texas had a great come-from-behind win with Alabama last night. So these are great opportunities for our fan base to come out and see us as we grow, because we are it's still in a growth area here. We got a long way to go because of they're not the new guys, but it's guys that really got to grow as players. And DJ's one of those guys. Mo, I mean, look at the minutes that they put in last year. Really look at them, and they're like almost rookies out there. So, but they've been a key part of our success so far, and so. They know that this week right now, it doesn't make or break your season, but it could have significance in March.
Andrew?
Coach, I know the minutes for Zach and Derek today were probably where you want them to
Yeah.
be. Is that how you look at it, just each game, or is it more a long haul where it could have gotten?
No, yeah, it could get to him, but I like the idea. We didn't feel Derek was feeling the game the way we wanted him to feel it. That's why he wasn't in foul trouble in the first half, when I just let him sit for a few minutes there and let X go out. And, you know, defensively, our freshmen are always going to have some challenges, and every day he gets better at it. So he went out and gave him a good rest there, and then we give him some at the end. But no, that would be the plan. And whether it's Ibby coming in for Zach and giving him rest, or play like we did, give DJ and Duncan more minutes, I got to figure that out. Depends on who we're playing, probably. So zone team, we're probably going to make sure Duncan's out there more.